Hey everybody, welcome back to Rogue Proletariat 40K. We're over like 200 subscribers now, which is awesome. I appreciate all the comments and stuff. I know there's some out there I haven't answered yet, but I'll definitely get to them this weekend. I know one I just saw before I started doing this video was, will I cover the secondaries as they now apply for GSC in the Nephilim Warzone book? And definitely that'll be one of my next videos coming up after I actually just did a battle report based off the pictures that you see here. And I'll post that first, and then I'll do the Nephilim secondary breakdown. So the reason for this video is some pretty good, exciting news. Is I'm going to start covering the Mid-Atlantic Tournament Circuit, which is something that was created by Anthony, the guy who owns Tables and Towers in Westminster, Maryland, my main game store. I've gone all my tournaments there this year. I love that place. If you're anywhere near Maryland, definitely check it out. It's the best game store I've ever been to in my life. And this video is going to be announcing their new standardized tournament terrain pack, and you can see in the videos here some of how the terrain is set up. What's going to follow this is Anthony and Ken, a couple of the guys that run a lot of the tournaments, and the owner of Tables and Towers, talking about the terrain and how they came about creating it, and they're going to use it in the Mid-Atlantic Tournament Circuit, which is a collection of 4 different stores in the area. We're going to run a tournament circuit together, all culminating at the end to see who is the has the highest score and is the best players in this area, and then it'll all culminate at the Maryland Open in May in 2023. So it's a really cool thing they're starting. The store is amazing, and I'll be covering it here on the channel from now on. So definitely check it out, and it'll all be Gene Stealer Cult content coming forward, and me taking it to the Mid-Atlantic Tournament Circuit event, seeing if I can. I'll definitely be the best Gene Stealer Cult player. I don't think I've seen another Gene Stealer Cult player at Tables and Towers yet, but we'll see how high I can get in the standings. So followed up, it'll be Anthony and Ken talking over the terrain, and enjoy, guys. Thanks for listening.
What's up, guys? It's Anthony over at Tables and Towers in Westminster, Maryland. I'm here with Ken, and what we've done is we've taken each map layout in missions 11 through 33, and we have used our terrain and came up with specific terrain layouts based on each mission. We're really excited about this. Ken and I have had the privilege of playing 2 or 3 games together on the tables, and they just feel like good.
Yeah, they do. They do feel really good. We wanted to give you an example here. So this is the map for mission 11. Right, so this is Hammer and Anvil, 6 objectives. We wanted to talk you through a little bit kind of our philosophy here.
Yep.
So as we built these maps, we tried to make it so that scoring 4 primary is pretty easy. So on this map, this is hold 1, hold 2, hold more. So for 4 primary, right, there's this building here on that objective, there's this building on this objective. All of the windows you see here are closed. Right, all of the buildings are going to be closed on our maps.
Let's talk about that for a second, because I think that that's going to intimidate some shooty armies.
Exactly, you're thinking that's really good for melee.
Yeah.
Right? But then kind of the contrast on that is for shooting, right, you see, we only have the blocking buildings on these 2 home objectives. The 4 objectives in the middle here, there's no buildings on them. Right, so the melee has the advantage that they have places to hide, and we also try to give them other places to hide. Right, you can hide in here, you can hide in there, you can hide in these, you can even tuck some infantry in here. So we got plenty of places for the melee player to hide.
But there are ways to get angles on those buildings.
Exactly.
So you can move from building to building with a melee army, but a shooty army, anticipating that, can set up for angles into the buildings. Today our game that we played was Knights versus Necrons. It was Ken's first game with Necrons. I was playing the Chaos Knights with my buddy Josh. Chaos Knights, very shooty list. His list was primarily focused on melee.
That's right.
And it was a super fun game. One of the things that I really loved about it is, even though that Necrons are really strong right now in this meta, I was able to keep the game really close because of the way the objectives are open. So Ken has access to really strong secondaries, but through my shooting, I was able to, keep him from scoring.
Because some of the factions with really strong secondaries, like Sisters, for example, they have one they do an action and they have to stay on it, right, until the next turn. And so, when they're able to player place terrain and just put terrain in front of all their objectives, that's really easy.
Yeah. you ought to lose the game against Sisters. And so this one of the things that GW did a good job of is pulling away some of those secondaries that are like, hey, it's an auto win. I'm going to take to the last. I'm going to take.
Just going to sit back here.
If you come towards me, I'm going to punish you. If you sit back, I'm going to win. Sisters and Necrons are very much set up that way, and these tables prevent them in a lot of ways from playing that game because they have to be out on this objective to score those points. And one of the things I noticed about some of the weaker armies, even like Knights, right? They don't have as strong as secondaries, but they can hold primary very well because of how many wounds they are, how tough they are, and they do have some stay here and hold this objective secondaries, which our tables reward them for.
That's right.
And so you can take a really strong army like Necrons and put it up against a top B-tier army like Chaos Knights, and you can still have a game. And that's our main goal here, is that...
Yeah, and we wanted to move away from that kind of staid player place terrain, right? We all know we're going to put, either a giant ruin or a forest in the middle, whether you're melee or shooting. You're going to cover up all your objectives, and that's just that.
And I also felt like we've talked about this, it created an aspect of the game where when Ken and I are playing with this terrain every day, we're setting it up, we play relatively competitive. When a more fluffy player comes to a tournament, it takes one of the field bads out of the game, right? They have now a balanced table.
By not having player
That's
placed,
right, by not having player placed. Because, prior to when we made our changes, our first set of changes that we made, when you had that Dark Angels Terminator army that stuck that building right in the center of the table, this one, and said, okay, I'm here, what are you going to do? That just didn't feel too good.
Yeah, and so, one of our goals is we want to make sure that every player who comes out has a great experience. And we really think that these tables are going to do that. And we look forward to you guys coming out and trying these out for yourselves. We're going to publish them shortly as well, so you can all get a chance to look at it. We're going to be using these in our GTs and RTTs.
Yep. All the RTTs are free moving forward. You win tickets to the GTs. The GTs, you win tickets to the major. We're also going to do some prize support trophies and some store credit in the GTs. There won't be any store credit in the RTTs, but there will be trophies. So this is something
and the tickets to the GTs.
Yep. This is something that Ken and I are working really, really hard to provide to the stores in our circuit, because a lot of them have this terrain, and we're really excited for you guys to come out and see it. I don't know if you want to get an over shot of the table if you can, to give them kind of an idea. The dice represent inches to the walls, I guess would be the best way to, or terrain.
Yeah, from the terrain piece to the edge of the board. So we'll have maps that'll lay out all what the terrain's supposed to look like, etc.
Thank you guys. We appreciate you. We love you. We can't wait to see you out here for the next RTT.
Awesome. Thanks.